In 2023, I believe that there will be certain trends that started in 2022. They will intensify in 2023. So I'll take a minute to kind of, summarize some of the things that I do see, emerging in 2023 a lot more prominently. The first and foremost, we talked about the lifestyle-oriented loyalty ecosystems. We see the stronger emergence of that model of the loyalty program as the consumer brands see the need to compete at scale and also to provide the organization a robust data foundation. Just to take a minute to kind of draw a distinction between when I say lifestyle-oriented digital ecosystem, the conventional loyalty program's value proposition is built around brands, products, and services. However, the lifestyle-oriented loyalty programs or loyalty ecosystems, as I like to call it, their value proposition is built around customers' lifestyles as well as the digital experiences. So not only will we see in 2023 the emergence of net new loyalty ecosystems, we'll also see a lot of existing loyalty programs evolving and transforming into ecosystems in order to, as I mentioned, in order to compete better, in order to drive competitive advantage, and also deliver a lot more enhanced value proposition to their customers. So I think that is one trend that we definitely see going forward, becoming a lot more stronger. The second trend, if I may, as 2023, one of the major changes in whole data economy would be, we'll be ushering into a cookie-less world. That means that the reliance on the high quality zero-party and first-party data will be greater than ever before. So I also expect a much deeper and broader adoption of loyalty programs across B2C industries, including those industries which have been on the fences for many years. We will see those industries now exploring the idea of loyalty program. In fact, I would expect the loyalty programs to start to become mainstream, just like the marketing and customer service functions. I think we'll see a greater realization of the fact that a well-run loyalty program is table stakes for your customer experience strategy. It makes marketing a lot more effective and customer experience and customer service a lot more personalized. So that would be another thing that I expect to happen in 2023. Another trend that would be a continuation of what happened in the last 2 years is we would see that the loyalty programs will make bold experiments with their reward strategies beyond points. So points and miles are here to stay. However, we have seen in 2022 and slightly there before, loyalty programs embarking on experiential strategies, introducing elements like privileges, entitlements, money can't buy, benefits. We will see in 2023 greater curiosity and adoption of NFTs and crypto as a part of your, of the program's reward strategies. As the technologies mature, I'm pretty sure some of those strategies will become mainstream. There will be another trend, within the whole reward domain would be more and more loyalty programs would like to give the power of choice in the hands of customers. In other words, they would like the customers to decide how best they would like to be rewarded for their loyalty. And I think that's the holy grail of loyalty programs. It is the beginning of making your loyalty programs truly individualized at one-to-one level. And lastly, if I may talk about one other trend, we have heard about sustainability for some time now, and loyalty program being used as a catalyst to drive sustainable behavior has been quite a well-entrenched concept. But 2022 saw some of the forward-looking loyalty programs, particularly in the airline hospitality, truly establishing working models that are driving results. And I do definitely see that more and more loyalty programs now, even beyond airline hospitality, would explore the use of loyalty programs as a catalyst to drive sustainable behavior. I think it is a win-win-win scenario. It is win for the environment. It is win for the customers in terms of incentives. It's also win for the brands in terms of cost savings. So that's another trend that I see, catching on going into 2023.
Most significant developments in loyalty in 2022 were mobile wallet solutions, which earn and burn mechanics are integrated in terms of triggering the next purchase, paid membership in e-commerce companies with extra benefits and offers, and prepaid package and bundles in fast consumer product companies with discounts.
of loyalty in 2022 was clearly the race to value, or the cost of living crisis. But when you say the race to loyalty, I just don't see that. I see there's being lots of loyalty programs growing. There are more loyalty programs. But actually, if you take studies that I've seen in the UK and in Australia, membership of the big loyalty programs is actually falling, not rising. So, and this has been a steady decline over several years, where the big traditional loyalty programs are generally in decline. That's by membership and by engagement. What we are, however, seeing is that these programs are becoming more effective at changing behavior, and we're seeing more loyalty programs, but membership in the larger countries is falling. So I don't know, when you say race to loyalty, what you mean by that, because I'm not necessarily seeing that. I'm seeing more programs, more competition, but actually less membership, less engagement.
2022 was an interesting year. It's kind of a recovery year after the COVID pandemic. And 2020 and 2021 were also interesting years because of the COVID pandemic. What we saw in 2020 and 2021 were brands adding a lot more partners, especially in the travel industry, because customers weren't traveling, but the brands wanted to keep their brand top of mind. And so they started adding partners like grocery store chains or fuel retailers or financial service companies so that customers could continue earning points even if they weren't traveling. 2022 was kind of a recovery year, and in fact, a fantastic year for most travel brands because they were at full occupancy during most of the year. And therefore the loyalty programs, were also extremely popular, and customers were very active in those loyalty programs. Second half of 2022, the global economy, started to show all types of unusual signs. I mean, increasing interest rates, stock market took a dive, and it was unclear whether different regions of the world would enter recession or not. And so I think there's been a much greater focus on cost control. Consumers are much more interested in extracting value from the brands that they work with, which could be in the form of discounts or cashback, but also, trying to get the maximum value from the loyalty programs or redeeming points for things that are most meaningful for customers. And in fact, on our platform, we saw a huge shift between 2021 and 2022 from, accrual or earning transactions to a much larger emphasis on redemption transactions, where customers were achieving or realizing value from the loyalty programs. And so as we head into 2023, I think we're going to see a lot of the same of what we've seen in the last 6 months. So there'll be a strong focus on cost control, where brands are trying to reduce their operating cost. And I hope that most brands don't achieve those savings by cutting the value of their loyalty currency or removing customer benefits, because that just starts a downward spiral in terms of creating customer value over time. I hope they achieve the savings by driving more efficiency in the way that they operate the loyalty program. But most brands are sophisticated enough, they realize that, to drive, $1 of incremental revenue, generates a certain percentage of benefit for the company, but reducing the cost of operation by $1 is worth a whole dollar. And therefore there's much more impact on the bottom line from cost savings rather than, trying to grow revenues, especially in an uncertain economy. So I think we'll continue to see a lot of cost control in 2023, a lot of system enhancements or replacing legacy technology to become more efficient. And then, of course, artificial intelligence is now maturing to the point where it can be deployed at scale for many different use cases, and that'll enable much better personalization. So 2023 is going to be a very interesting year. Some brands still need to do, the basics in order to, deliver more value to a larger portion of their members, but we're going to see a lot of innovation in 2023 as well.
2022, a little bit like 2021, right? Was obviously affected by COVID. What COVID did, I think, in the loyalty industry was that it sort of crystallized for a lot of companies how important loyalty is. With the terrible things that happened during COVID, a lot of companies had to sort of refocus And at least from our perspective, when we talk to clients and when we try to get access to clients and new potential clients, it has become, it's more of a hot subject at the C-level, and loyalty / customer retention, this whole space has become extremely important. I also think that COVID also in the countries where digital was not, especially digital payments were not, the dominating way of paying, Germany as an example, in those countries, doing things digital has also become more of an ask for clients or potential members of client programs. So the whole, I think the whole industry has gotten a lot more focused. That's at least our clear impression. On the technology side, I think that customers are becoming more, for lack of a better term, demanding, or they are expecting / demanding a super easy user experience when they accrue points or rewards or cashback, and that's maybe the easier one. And then especially when they redeem. And that's both on the value proposition side, that there is a limit to how much you can differentiate the earning rate and the redemption rate. People are smarter. People have access to a lot more information on social media, etc. So the whole business concept of redemption, I think, was reworked and seems like has become more important for companies. And then the whole technology part of redemption and making that super ubiquitous and easy was the other big development, I think, in the industry, right? There's also, which I think is super good from my perspective, I think there's a more understanding with people building loyalty programs that it needs to be relevant for the end consumer, right? I mean, we all know programs where, to exaggerate a little bit, the reward you get is an umbrella with the company's logo, right? Those days, in my view, are gone. And I think that the fact that it needs to be relevant is an important component along with the technology. So that's sort of the industry things we saw. We also saw a lot of activity in the finance space. I mean, and that is both within open banking and loyalty with card links, etc. It seems like a lot of the old players, old banks have finally realized that there's a lot of really innovative disruptors out there, and they are beginning to take business away, right? So there was a lot of action in that sector. For our company, we were super fortunate not to be affected by COVID. I mean, most importantly, none of our staff was affected by it, but as a company, we have really had a fantastic 2022. We are a listed company, so we can only say what has been publicized, but we have won a lot of very large customers, including Air Canada, Emirates, Qatar, Best Buy, etc. And we were also selected after like a 16-month RFP as the provider of technology to Visa on loyalty and software service. So it has been a very good year. Our fiscal year is half year, so it's from July, but 2022 as a calendar year has been really good for us.
2022 has been, in a way, a kind of a recovery year, in that we have been able to see the future beyond pandemic. And yet, I think over that period, a lot of people have begun to entrench new buying habits, right? We've all done more online. We've worked more remotely. So there's generally less of the kind of in-person interaction that you would have found before with a lot of particularly retailers. So I think we're seeing a entrenchment of these new behaviors, yet I think a lot of the retailers in particular want to see an increase in footfall coming through and back into the store environment. And I don't think that's actually in opposition to personal need either, because I think many of us have missed that environment, missed being able to go into that space and have that human contact. So loyalty programs, I think, need to work hard now, and not just rewarding repeat purchasing, which you could do online, but also repeat visiting and coming in person, getting back into a store environment. I think that's probably the biggest impact of the pandemic, and the biggest opportunity going forward into 2023 is how do we use that loyalty program to produce that incentive.